All right, moving on to Bride of Chucky. Getting back to my Chucky reviews. I had to take a little break to do the Jurassic Park series. I finally saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. As of right now, I still haven't recorded that review because I'm still processing what I'm going to say. But let's stick to this one. This film's 20 years old. That actually shocked me when I looked that up. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize this was that long ago. But it was. So we get this awesome opening of this evidence locker, and we get Leatherface's chainsaw and actually a pretty good looking Michael Myers mask. A Jason Voorhees mask here, which that Jason Voorhees mask looked terrible. And we also get a Freddy glove. And what is funny about that is that this is directed by Ronnie Yu, who directed Freddy vs. Jason. So I kind of find it funny that the Jason mask in this doesn't look good. And he's the guy who ends up directing a Freddy vs. Jason film after this. So, after, right? Yeah, this is 98. Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason, like 2000 or something like that, 2001. Yeah, something like that. Anyway. Damn, now I'm trying to remember. Freddy vs. Jason. I saw that in theaters. Anyway, all right, let's see. The movie starts with Rob Zombie, which this was before The Devil's Reject, so it was interesting to see his music here. This has Katherine Heigl in it, which nowadays, like 20 years later, it's funny to think of her, the actress she is now, being in a horror movie like this. I feel like this would be a movie that the actress herself would be like, this is beneath me. I don't know. I'm not a huge Heigl fan. There's something about the chick that just rubs me the wrong way. Like she's too good for shit. And I never do that. I don't care what celebrities are like in real life. But there's something about her. She seems so uppity and full of herself. And I'm never like that. I don't judge celebrities. I don't give a shit. But I can't shake that. So maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like that. So I have a feeling like if they were to bring this up to her, she'd do like the Jennifer Aniston Leprechaun thing. Like, oh, we don't talk about that. And it's like, you better fucking talk about that. That movie started your goddamn career. You fucking show some goddamn respect. It's bullshit. I hate when people do that. We get Jennifer Tilly in this, and holy shit is Jennifer Tilly hot in this movie. Hell yes. Now, the Chucky that she gets from the locker, is that supposed to be the Mangled Chucky from Child's Play 3? Like, it's fine if it is. I mean, I can just be like, okay, whatever, it's fine. His body was way more mangled than that. But that's right. I mean, because we're just going from one to the other. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be that. But it's just funny to me. It's like, yeah, his body would be way, way more fucked up. Although they do screw around with the mythos in this a little bit. So, I don't know. It makes sense, though, because it couldn't be like it was ignoring 2 and 3 or anything like that. It's not ignoring 2 or like 3, because at the end of 1, he's got like no body left. At the end of 2, same thing. At the end of 3, he's chopped up. In this one, he's chopped up. So I think they're just trying to say this is from 3, but as I said, his body was in 1,000 pieces at the end of that movie, and they're just going to show it look like his face got caved in and that his body got cut up a couple times. Like, no. And Alexis Arquette, holy shit. Pretty funny to see him here. It's sad that he's dead now, but every time I see him, he's always going to be George from Wedding Singer to me. But I like his role in this. John Ritter, holy shit, seeing John Ritter play the villain here. I'm so used to him being freaking Jack Tripper from Three's Company. And some other things like Skin Deep. You guys ever see that movie? With the glow-in-the-dark condoms, the fucking lightsaber fight in the dark. That's a very famous scene. But yeah, it's weird. I'm not used to him being the bad guy. She brings over a gay dude to try to trick him into believing she's going out with some, higher class fella, because he doesn't approve. I don't even know who the hell this guy is. He's just Warren? I don't know. He says your mother and your father wouldn't have proved or whatever. I don't know if this is like her uncle. It might have been said in the film, but I didn't notice it. I'm sure it is, but I write down notes and sometimes I miss a word here or two there. But who is this? Is this her uncle? Who is that guy? Like, why is he governing over her life? It must be something like that. And I don't like, this is such a nitpicky shit right here, but I don't know. It's always bothered me. I haven't seen this movie in a while, and I guess I should say already, I should have already said this by now. I really enjoyed the shit out of this movie on this watch. I thought it was really fucking fun. So, I look forward to watching Seed of Chucky, and I almost hope that I love it, just because everybody fucking hates it. And I love underdogs, and sometimes I enjoy being the odd man out, but I don't do it on purpose. I swear to God I don't. I admit what I like, and I'm open to pretty much anything. Like, the movies can usually go in any direction they want to go, unless things have already been pre-established and they're working outside the realm of that. Then I don't get happy with that kind of stuff. But I don't know. So, Seed of Chucky, I'm looking forward to it. I kind of hope I love it just because I want to love it. Why not? Why would I want to waste my time and hate the movie? Anyway, the nitpicky thing, getting back to it. I hate the way she says Dembella in this movie. She says like Dembella, Bala or something. The way she says it, I don't know why it irritates the fuck out of me. Especially since we do then hear Chucky saying it, not like 5 minutes later, right? The way that it's said in Child's Play. Yes, there's different like pronunciations of things, and people say tomato, tomato, whatever. But I don't know why. Anybody else have a problem with the way she says it? It irritates me. She has a Voodoo for Dummies book. Remember all those? Jesus Christ. There was this whole section in the bookstores dedicated to those 4 dummies, 4 idiots books that they used to have. The Alexis Arquette's character tries to fake that he's killed somebody to impress Tiffany because he wants to get in her pants so bad that he's going to fake that he's a murderer. And the only thing that brings Chucky to life after him like walking this way and like coming and appearing here and doing this and this and this, like, and his girlfriend dancing in front of this guy, all this stuff, is when Alexis finally says that Chucky has a small dick. And then Chucky turns his head around, Exorcist style, and looks at him. And he's like, "It ain't the size that counts, asshole. It's the way you use it." I just thought that was hilarious that's the comment that brought him to life. Not like him fucking humping him and throwing him in the corner and talking about what a idiot pussy is, whatever, like how crazy she is. Nothing. You want to piss a guy off, go after his dick, right? So this is 10 years after the first one, and it says it took her 10 years to find him. So at first I was like, wait a minute. It took her 10 years to find him. Like, he didn't die. He didn't get chopped up at the end of 3 until 2 years before this movie. Because this was the military camp, supposedly is 8 years after the events of the first movie. Or maybe even the second movie. It says 8 years later. So I don't know if that's... I don't know. So I was like, wait a minute. You mean 8 years since he was found at the end of 3? It has not been, because they even say, I think somewhere in this film, that's 1998, and the first film takes place in 88. So it makes sense that she's been looking for him since he died, and she's been hearing the rumors of the doll. So it makes sense. But at first I was like, wait a minute, what? That doesn't... Okay, so I fixed that little thing there, but I thought I'd bring it up for anyone else who may have gotten confused as well. And the line that killed me is when she brings in the ring and she's like, I thought you were going to ask me to marry you. And he was like, you thought I was going to ask you to marry you? What are you, fucking nuts? And then he does this famous Chucky laugh. I don't know why. There's so many lines in this that Chucky delivers. Probably the one that made me laugh the hardest is when this dude is proposing to Katherine Heigl, and he's sitting behind her and he's like jerking off and whatever. And then and she's like, "Oh, that's so romantic," Tiffany does. And he's like, I give him 6 months, 3 if she gains weight. I don't know. That fucking killed me. I was laughing. I almost had to pause the film because I thought that was so fucking funny. Jesus. And holds him hostage. Bride of Frankenstein. I like that we get to see Bride of Frankenstein. Oh, she holds him hostage, yeah. Like she puts Chucky in a little cage and holds him hostage, and she goes out and she buys the Tiffany doll and pops it in there with him, just like pushing him. It's like, what'd you think was going to happen? Come on now. And she watched Bride of Frankenstein on the TV and you know, foreshadowing, well, of course, what's going to happen. And we even get a Pinhead reference here when John Ritter's killed. He's like, it looks familiar to me. So there's a lot of franchises that are being addressed here. I have to believe that has something to do with Scream, because Scream was made 2 years previous to this. So I think it was like the hot thing to, you know, meta mention other franchises in your movie. But yeah, she locks him up, then he electrocutes her, and he says Dumbledore correctly. Just kidding. And she comes back into the doll. And she does her whole like makeup scene, and Chucky's just sitting there like, whoa. And then later in the movie, she kills somebody, and he's like, she breaks the mirror above there, and it comes down and shatters and kills them. And he's like, I love you. And he drops to his knees and proposes. Like, it's funny that Alexis Arquette's trying to impress her by killing somebody, and then she actually kills somebody, which impresses Chucky so much that he wants to marry her. Now, the one thing that they did change is that he tells Tiffany that the only way that they can change their bodies, now all of a sudden, is if they get the heart of Dumbledore, which he was wearing the night that he was shot. Bullshit. Okay, no the fuck he was not. They threw that in here as some bullshit cop-out because they couldn't think of anything else, because it wasn't the first person they revealed and whatever. So they did some convenient bullshit. That is not what happened, but whatever. I'll look past it for this, but man, that was like, I rolled my eyes. So come on, man. And the kid acts like, and I mean, maybe he's living in a trailer park, so maybe $1,000 is a lot of money to him, but he acts like $1,000 is he's going to fix every problem, him and his girlfriend, they're going to be able to live off of that, he's going to run away with her. I'm like, $1,000, dude, that wouldn't even buy me groceries for the month. And I already read that, Jesus. I like how Chucky wants to go and he wants to grab the knife, and she's like pushing him to be more edgy. She's like, oh, knives are so 80s, get with the times. And so he has to set up this airbag deploy thing, which I feel like that is just kind of a play on the slasher genre, on the horror genre. Like, people are bored with common machete kills or whatever. Like, the kills had to be ramped up and more thought out. And we get there's a scene in here, it's so small, and I'm not even sure why I'm mentioning it, to be honest, but when Katherine Heigl gets in the van, when they decide to run off together, and Chucky and Tiffany have already killed Warren and stuffed him in this little chair, or how the hell they lift him up, I have no idea, doesn't matter. But Katherine Heigl reaches over and unlocks the guy's door instantly when she gets in the car. And I almost have to believe that that Don Mancini, who wrote this, has seen A Bronx Tale too many times. I'm sure it was just maybe something she did or whatever, but if you haven't seen that, for some reason, Chaz Palminteri has his little talk with the kid, and he gives her the door test. Like, he's like, do the door test. If she doesn't reach over and unlock your door, she's a selfish bitch, and she's not worth your time. So when I saw her leech over, it just reminded me of A Bronx Tale, and I had to mention it because I haven't talked about that movie in many, many years. I like how once the killings start, like the cop's car blows up behind him, like Katherine Heigl and the other dude, like instantaneously turn on each other and suspect each other as the murderer. I mean, it does make sense because it really is the only logical thing that could possibly be happening outside of Warren, which I think is so far from their mind, or their friend. Like, those are pretty much the only other two things. And as I said, I think both of those are just way outside of the realm of what they could. And we get to see some doll sex in here, at least just shadow of it. So we got some Team America. I promise I will never die. There you go, Rebecca. There's your favorite line. And the phone call when they're calling the gay friend and she's calling him and then the guy's calling him and different, and they're both telling him the same exact thing. Like, I think she's the killer. And that would creep me the fuck out. If I got that call from two people, I would be like, you know, I'd be using the fucking Pulp Fiction, like, my name's Paul and this is between y'all. I don't know if that came from Pulp Fiction, but that was the first time I ever heard it, and that was in 1994. So I don't know if that's where that's from, but that's why I use it, is from that movie. So I don't know if that predates that film or not. I've heard other people use it, and I'm like, are they using that because they saw Pulp Fiction, or was that a line before Pulp Fiction that I'm unaware of? Either one wouldn't surprise me. Pulp Fiction's pretty damn popular, and for good reason. It's incredible. And I like when the friend, like, he's on their side, and he's sitting there, and he's like, it's, you know, there's only like 3 scenarios that are possible. Either you're crazy, or you're both wrong. Like, you're both like innocent, something else, maybe it's Warren. And then he opens it up and he sees Warren's dead body, and then he grabs his gun and he's like, all right, motherfuckers, let me out of this car. He turns so fast. I thought that was an absolutely genuine, honest reaction to what he saw. So I really like that. And he steps out and he gets blasted by the truck that takes him down. And then they're on the run from the cops by this point, and they think that they're wanted for murder. So I was wondering if this was going to be addressed, and it is at the end. The detective at the very end calls him up, and he's like, it's not these kids. Like, don't worry about them. They're good. I don't think that would be enough for them to stop investigating, because they're probably dies. I'm curious on if this is addressed in Seed Chucky, because we get Glenda is being born at the end of this. And he screams. I don't think he kills him, right? He just sees him. I don't think he dies. I don't know. But if he does, I'm curious on how they get cleared. I don't know if they're mentioned again. I'm really looking forward to Seed Chucky. I think I'm going to try to watch it tonight. I haven't seen it in fucking forever. Then they get Chucky and Tiffany to start arguing with each other. I thought that was pretty funny. They're going at each other, and then she kicks her in the oven, and then Chucky fucking, kicked out the door. That was pretty cool. I liked that whole scene, how they're yelling at each other, and he's saying horrible shit to her. Oh, it was pretty freaking hilarious. It says on his tombstone that he died on November 9th. And that would mean the next day was Andy's birthday, which would make it November 10th. And my mother's birthday is November 10th. That is completely pointless information to you, but I found that to be interesting for myself. So I thought I'd point it out. Oh God, I hate stuff like this. I fucking hate stuff like this in movies. This is so dumb. Like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example before I even tell you what actually happens here. You know that scene in the movie where someone's in the road and then someone runs out and knocks them out of the way and then stands there and gets hit by the car? That is so fucking stupid. If you're running with forward momentum, it would be way harder to stop your movement than it would to be just pushing yourself forward and tackling them out of the way. They do tackle people out of the way in movies, but there's plenty of films where I see the person run and they knock them out of the way and they're, get out of the way, and then they stand there for some reason and they get hit by the car. Fuck those scenes. Fuck them. Every time. Fuck them. Makes no sense. Same thing happens here. He's giving Katherine Heigl a hug. He sees Chucky, and he's about to throw the knife, so he twists her around and takes the knife. All the fucking force and all of the energy and all the strength that it would have taken to physically pick her up and turn her all the way around to the other side of you, as opposed to just grabbing her and falling to the ground or pushing her out of the way as he threw the knife. It's so dumb. It's so fucking stupid. I hate it. Like it's supposed to be this sweet moment of like, oh my God, he sacrificed himself for the... I didn't think that at all. I didn't think that at all. The only thing I thought was, I'm glad that you have a knife in your back because you're a fucking idiot. Okay, I'm sorry. I think those scenes are so dumb. They're so lazily written. It's like they don't go out there with the actors. I bet the actors are sitting there like, yeah, but isn't that like, that's really hard to do. Why wouldn't I just fall over? And they're like, this is the way it's written. Do it. And it's like, but this doesn't make any sense. I'd be that person who would just be fighting with them on set. Like, that's not how this would work. I just want better writing sometimes. Is that too much to ask? Anyway. And I like how after like, and to add to the dumbness really, to add to the fucking stupidity of that scene, they're trading off Tiffany for Katherine Heigl in that moment. And when Katherine Heigl gets to him and Tiffany gets to him, they decide to sit there and hug and look at each other and are like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Whatever. Get the fuck out of there! Get out of there! As soon as she got to you, you guys should have been running. So dumb. So fucking dumb. I hate it. I can't stand shit like that when people... I like when Han Solo says that in The Force Awakens. It's like, run now, hug later. Like, that's what you need to do. That's I can't handle it. It's pissing me off anyway. But yeah, it's just like the fight scene between Tiffany and Chucky. They sit there and they watch it. Why? Why are they watching this? Run! So dumb. But that fight scene was pretty kick-ass. I liked the way that it was shot. I thought that was really awesome. And then Chucky saying, like, go ahead and kill me. Like, I'll come back. I always come back. But dying is such a bitch. And then he gets shot. I thought that was great. And yeah, and then the detective witnesses it, so he gets them off the hook, and then Tiffany gives birth to Glenda from Ed Wood. God, people hate the next one so goddamn much. So anyways, I'm gonna go watch it. Fuck it.